Hey, fourth graders, Mr. Klingon here. We're going to be doing a little bit more work with solving multiplication problems. And today I'm going to give you a strategy that is about using number lines and also skip counting. Okay. So I'm going to give us a problem string here, which means I'm going to give us some problems in a row that are all kind of related. Okay. And we're just going to start with regular math problems. All right. And then we'll get into word problems a bit later. So, the first problem we're going to think about is 4 times 2. Okay. Now, on a number line or with skip counting, you could think of this problem like this is 4 groups of 2. Okay. So if I start at 0, I could count 2 4 times, 4 groups of 2. So I could go 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and that'd be my answer, right? 4 times 2 equals 8. All right. However, using what's called the commutative property of multiplication, you can also think about this in a different way. Instead of 4 groups of 2, I can also think of this like 2 groups of 4. So I start at 0. Instead of counting by 2s this time, I'm going to count 2 groups of 4. So I go 4, 8. 2 groups of 4. I still land on 8. 2 groups of 4 equals 8. Okay? Let's try another one. This time, let's try 8 times 2. Okay? 8 groups of 2. So on our number line, I'd skip count by 2s. I'd go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's see, how many times have I gone so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go 3 more times, right? 1, 2, 3. So after 10, the next skip count by 2 would be 12, then 14, then 16. Okay, 8 groups of 2, 16. Okay, now let's try it flipping it around. Okay, using the commutative property. Instead of 8 groups of 2, let's try 2 groups of 8. So instead of counting all those little 2s 8 times, let's count 8 2 times. So I'm going to start at 0, 1 big 8, and another big jump of 8. Okay, oops. So it would be 8, and then 8 more would give us 16. So each time here we added 8. Okay, so 2 times 8 equals 16. Okay, now this strategy is really going to be helpful, especially once you get into larger and larger numbers. Like, let's take a look at our next problem. Okay, our next problem is 16 times 2. Now, already when I was doing 8 jumps of 2, I was having to do a lot of drawing and a lot of counting. I don't know if I want to count 16 twos, okay? That'd mean I have to skip count by 2 16 times. I'm going to start running out of space on my paper as well. So again, I'm going to flip the problem, think about the commutative property, and I'm going to think about this instead of like 2 16s. So 2 big jumps of 16. So if I started 0, 1 big jump of 16. So 0, jump 16. We're adding 16. That'd get me to 16. Another big jump of 16. Okay. Now maybe we're getting to the point where it's not exactly mental math for you. Well, then you can think about it like an addition problem. We added 16 once. Let's add another 16. So you can think about like 16, add another 16 like this. Okay. So you can think about, okay, 6 and 6, that gives me 12. Now, one way to solve addition problems is to put the ones digit down here and the tens digit up there. So that would give me 3 tens, which would give me 32. Okay, so 2 16s is 32, or 16 times 2, also 32. Okay? If this way is a little tricky for you, another way you can think about it, you can think about 16 and 16. Well, 16 is also 10 plus 6. So if we're adding 10 plus 6 2 times, okay, 6 and 6 is 12, 10 and 10 is 20. Put my camera down a bit. If you add 12 and 20, that also gives you 32. Okay, let's try a couple more problems, then I'll send you off to do some on your own. All right. The next problem is 24 times 2. Okay. Now, again, I'm not going to count by twos 24 times. That's going to take a really long time. So instead, let's count by 24 2 times. So I'm going to have one big jump of 24. Now I got to add 24 again, okay, to see what am I going to land on right there. All right, so I could set up an addition problem like 24, add 24 to find out what would be my next number, okay? Now, this one doesn't have any carrying overs. This one might be a little easier for you to add in your head. We add up our ones, 4 ones and 4 ones gives us 8 ones. We add up our tens, 2 tens and 2 tens gives us 4 tens. So our answer would be 48. 24 times 2 equals 48. Okay? Let's try one more problem. This time with a big problem. And this is one I believe that you solved, or that the Miss Herman showed you how to solve yesterday with I think it was about glue sticks. So this problem is 32 times 2. Okay? Start thinking about what your answer might be already. Let's start at 0. We're not skip counting by twos. That's going to take a really long time if we got to do that 32 times. Let's skip count by 32s. One big 32 jump and another big 32 jump. Okay? So 0 add 32. That gets me to 32. Add another 32. What are we going to have? If we add 32, add another 32, how many ones would we have? How many tens would we have? Okay? Remember, it's okay to split it up as well. If you think about it, it's called expanded notation. If you think about 32, like 30 and 2, and then another 30 and 2, okay? 2 and 2, that gives me 4. 30 and 30, that gives me 60. So if I had 60 plus 4, we get 64. It should be the same thing here. 64. So 32 times 2 equals 64. Okay? All right. So that's a little explanation of how we can use skip counting and number lines to help us solve multiplication problems. So your job today, you're going to be doing pages 3 and 4. Okay, so in your packet, in your math packet that you've been working in, you're going to go to pages 3. Okay, it says how many tens. And then the next one, 4, how many erasers. Okay, just like yesterday, on all the problems, you need to have the equation. What multiplication problem are you solving? Okay, and then give us the answer. You can use any multiplication method you want. Maybe some of these you have memorized. You already know the facts. Maybe you're going to use skip counting. Maybe you're going to use arrays. Okay, any strategy that you know for multiplication you may use. All right, just make sure you have an equation and an answer labeled with units. When you're done, okay, then you're going to go on Dreambox. We always do at least one lesson. You can, of course, do more, but you need to finish at least one lesson. Okay? All right. Good luck, everybody.